The destructive nature of fire is that it does not discern. It does not care nor concern itself with who set it or whose fault it might be. It simply consumes everything in its path. Rashi points out a unique, almost disturbing element of the punishment of the three main instigators in the rebellion against Moshe: Korach, together with Dasan, and Aviram. The earth miraculously opens its mouth and swallows them whole, but it takes their entire families with them, their wives, together with their children, even their infants. And Rashi points out, Kama kasha machlokas, look at how severe, at how damaging and destructive is fighting, is contention. Nowhere else in the Torah do we ever find children being punished. Infants? Unheard of. Only here, in this machlokas, with this dispute, do we find children being swept up in the destruction. The Maral explains that this actually wasn't a punishment at all. It was nothing other than the natural consequence of the very nature of machlokas, of dispute, of fighting. Dasan and Aviram brought this upon themselves when they stood at the entrances to their tents, defiantly ignoring Moshe's request for appeasement. The Torah describes they brought their whole families with them. Nisheim, their wives, uveneim, together with their children, vitapam, and even their infants, all together as a family, stood defiantly against Moshe. And once they engaged their children in this dispute, even passively, they all became connected to the fire of its destructiveness. And they all became consumed by the earth when it opened its mouth. We would love to live lives that are free of all contention, no fighting, no bickering. The reality is, we often get into disputes with our colleagues at work, with our friends in the neighborhood, even sometimes with our own spouse. But when that happens, if we bring that into our home, if we argue at the dinner table, if we argue in front of the children, we've brought the fire of that destructive nature into our homes. And our children, even as passive observers, become connected to it. It becomes part of their world. And that fire is damaging. They will bear the scars of being involved, being in a home that's filled with machlokas, with that contention. If we would run into a burning home to pull our children out, how sensitive must we be not to bring that fire in? Take the phone call outside. If you have to have the dispute, don't do it at the dinner table. Don't do it in front of the children. Wait till they're asleep. Wait till you're in the privacy of your own home. We owe it to our children to give them a fight-free environment to grow up in, free from the destructive, consuming nature of the fire of contention. Have a great Shabbos.